Now can we start? So chale, now we'll start after preamble we are going to start the part, right? So first part of the constitutions. So first part of the constitution, subject matter is union and its territory. So it include from the part first, include from article 1 to article 4 of the constitutions. So we'll discuss all of these articles from 1 to 4. Okay? So it says union and its territory. The first article of 1 talks about name and territory of the union. Second is admission or establishment of new states. Article 3, formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or name of existing states. And Article 4, laws made under Article 2 and 3 to provide for the amendment of first and fourth schedule and supplemental, incidental and consequential matter. This is an subject matter of part. Sorry. We'll see. Whatever your question related to this topic you have, just keep with you. Ask when I finish the topic. Clear? So let's start the first article of the constitutions. So article 1 talks about name and territory of the union. So what is the name of the India? Bharat. So India has only two names, India and Bharat. Other than the two, India does not have any name, constitutional name. Whatever the other call like Hindustan and everything, that has been cultural but not as constitutional name, right? Article 1 talks about two things. So article 1 talks about that India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. Now when we talk about the union of states, so what we are talking about? We are talking about when we are talking about union of states, so what we are talking about? India. We are talking about India. So if I give you an options, this is good for the options A, B, C and D. States, UTs, acquired territories, all of the above. And if I ask you which of the options you will mark as an answer with respect to the questions of union of states? Do you get the question? Did you get the question? No. How many of you are not in a position to understand the question? Yes. ये भी आप नहीं समझ रहे. I want to ask that if the board I written on the board that union of states, when we talk about the union of states, which of the options A, B, C, D, which includes under union of states, either may be A, either may be B, either may be C, or A, B, A, C, B, C, or all of the above? All of the above? All of the above? A. So we have two answers. One is A and one is all of the above. Any else? Anyone wants to give any answer? Which one? C, B. So why I have given you these questions? To understand the concept of union of states. So now when we talk about union of states, so it means we are talking why the constitution has mentioned that India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. It means it wants to indicate that India, which is a union of state, which means we have a federal relations, an arrangement. So what is how the India is a union having a relation with the state? A federal relations, not an unitary relations. Are you getting my point? So states are participant, stakeholder in the union. So they are not as an subordinate. They are not as an, you can say it, under the control of the union. Rather, they are having an equal participations, stakeholder in the relationship of the union and states. So when we talk about union of states, so we are only talking about the relations between union and the states. So union of states indicates the federal structure of the India. And what is federal structure? Where all the stakeholders are independent. They have been forming or they have been deriving their power from the constitutions. The one is not subordinate to the other. The one is not controlled by the other. The units are not controlled by the union. The units are not subordinate to the unions. They have their own independent power in respect of their field, in respective territory. They are free to form their own rules, regulations. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So we are not at only sovereign at the union level, we are also sovereign at the lower level, where the peoples were allowed to choose their own government for the local issues at the state level, and the state legislature were allowed to make laws, rules and regulations according to the constitutions, and both union and states both are deriving their power from the Constitution of India. Am I clear? Yes or no? Right? So this union of state, the term union of state is an indication of federal character of the Indian constitutions. Am I clear? Yes or no? But the term federation or federal is not mentioned in the constitutions. The constitution does not indicate or does not mention the terms that India is a federal nation. It says India is a union of states. So the arrangements of the constitutions are in such a way that it shows that it follows a federal character in a normal conditions. Are you getting my point? Right? At the time when we have been in the verge, or when we are forming our constitutions, so we have two options. Either we should go with the UK having a unitary, which we have already been under the control of the union, control of the UK, or we should go with the US having a complete federations. Now let's compare Union of States in India and Union of States in America. So we are a true federal as in America? No. We are an unitary as in Britain? No. We are having an amalgamations, mixture, characteristic of both the nations, Union or UK or USA. We are following a Canadian model. If you remember in the last class, we have discussed what? Federation with unitary base or biasness, or union tilted towards union, having a strong center. Yes or no? So in response to this, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar has given a statement in the Constituent Assembly that India does not worry about the term unitary or federal, as long as it is functions or it address everyone concerns and it functions smoothly. So what does its statement means? Its statement means that we are not stick to any of the provisions, whether we are being unitary or we are being federal. The country needs to smooth functions. So if it requires, we can be sometimes an union also for the smooth functioning of nations. If it requires for the smooth functioning, we can be sometimes be federal also. So in emergency provisions, we have an unitary. If you remember, in the last class, we have seen the provisions related to the unitary in the Indian Constitution, single citizenship, single constitutions, flexibilities of the constitutions, integrated judiciary, if you remember. We have also certain features of federal in the Indian constitutions, written constitutions, rigid constitutions. Yes or no? Division of power, independent judiciary. If you remember, these are the features. So why we have what? Because we do not stick to ourselves to one or either. We just need the country to be having a smooth functioning. In functioning of country, smoothness, whatever required, we can be adopted to that. So union of state is always means that a relation is always, or it is only union of state. When we talk about the federal character, it means we're talking about the 7th schedule, union, state and concurrent. So this is the state. This is not UT. Though the UT have some UT has a legislative assembly, Delhi, Puducherry, Jammu Kashmir, but they are not enjoying the status of state in terms of union of state. Are you getting my point? Nahi. Now state means what? It means that state are independent to make laws through the elected government. It means I can say that through the assembly. Yes or no? This is what means. So the assemblies, legislative assemblies, are free to make laws for their own territorial disputes or on territorial matter, not disputes, but related to matters with respect to the territorial jurisdictions in the state list. Okay? But there are certain UTs also. 3 UTs having a legislative assembly: Delhi, Puducherry, Jammu Kashmir. These are the 3 UTs having an assembly. It means the government is chosen by the people. But UTs with a legislature does not considered as an union under the Union of States. It means the structure, the arrangement which is allowed between the union and states, or the facility or the provisions which is applicable to the states in a federal character is not applicable equally to the UTs, those having a legislature also. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Clear? Okay? Right? So this. Now next I will also make a comparative study with the American and Indian Union. But before that, let's make a comparative study with the Union of States. And the third Article 1 Clause 3 talks about territory of India. So now what is territory of India? So now when we talk about territory of India, so this is a 2 term which has been mentioned already in the first article of the Constitution. It talks about union of state. It also talks about territory of India. There is a difference between the 2 terms. Because of this, it mentions. So Article 1 Clause 1 talks about union of state. It means it is only talking about that federal arrangements. So it only includes the states which are under the federal arrangements. It is not talking about anything else other than the states. But when we talk about territory of India, so territory of India includes states also, UTs also, and acquired territory also. So when we talk about territory of India, it means we are talking about the territory from the north to south, west to east. Lakshadweep also, Andaman Nicobar, they are the territory of India. But when we talk about an union of states, that we are talking about an arrangements of an federal structure. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Is it clear? So now are you in a position to differentiate between the two terms, union of states and territory of states, territory of India, right? So union of states include only the states relations, states, whereas territory of India includes the everything, states, UTs and acquired territory. Like Goa has been acquired, Portuguese, then your this, no, not the Mandiv, this, मुझे बोलने दीजिए, Puducherry, Goa, Puducherry, this has been acquired territory. So when the Portuguese and French were going, they have given this territory to India. So it is an acquired territory. Aman, that was already a part. That is not under anyone's. So in India, we have a different European which is under the control. Now we have fought against the Britishers. So there are certain other Europeans. Dutch is also some colonies in India. French is also under some colonies in India. Like Goa is under the French. Portuguese. French is under this Puducherry. So when they are going, we acquired this all. So this is an example of acquired territory, right? Yes or no? So this state is the only which has given an constitutional status, and it says they have a power to manage their own affairs through the constitutional provisions of the state. Rest is to be administered by the union as they want. That's why it is known as a union territory, which is directly administered by the union. Maybe it's up to the union to provide legislature like Puducherry and Delhi and Jammu Kashmir. Is it clear? This is Article 1. Yes or no? Any doubt? Difference between state and UT. State is under the arrangements of federal. They have the power from the constitutions that they can free, independent to make their own decisions, to make their own laws, rules, regulations. UTs are not given that such power. UTs is under the control of. So state is you can say is an arrangement or examples of federations. UTs are an example of centralizations, where UTs are under the direct control of union. That's why it is known as an union territories. Kendra Shasit Raj, where a Kendra has been administered. Union of states. Why not the UTs come under the union of states? Because it is not free, it is not independent, it is under the control of union. This union of state is always means we are talking about a relations, federal relations. Let's say I ask you, come join me, you will be given independence. So you join me. चलिए इसको एक दूसरे तरीके से समझते हैं. Let me give you another example. Make a comparative with the American Union of States. Union of States. ठीक है? So this is Union of States in India and Union of States in USA. Now this has already been asked. You need to understand. So union, when we talk about the union of states in America, it means the union is a result of, this is visible na? Or should I change the color? Now? Nahin? Now? Result of agreements. So union in America is a result of agreement. What does it mean? It means all the states, they came together, all the independent and sovereign states, they came together and they made an agreement that we should be together. So let's make an agreement. So through that agreement between all the states, they have created one union. So union of states in the United States is a result of agreement. But union of states in India is not a product of agreement. How the union has been formed? So we said, come and join in Union of India, surrender your sovereignty, you will be given independence. So you will be independent in your respective field, but you will not sovereign. Are you getting my point? There will be one union, there will be one constitutions. Unlike America, where there is 12 constitutions. So through agreement, they come and they come through an agreement. So they said, now we each of us having our own constitutions and one constitution for the union. But in India, we have decided, come and surrender your sovereignty. Join the Union of India. Be a part of India. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So the union of states in USA is a result of an agreement between the states. Sorry? But in India, this is the union in India is not a result of an agreement. What does it mean? So this means that they have decided that we will be together, and through this they have also decided this union of states in USA is indestructible union with indestructible state. What does it mean? So this agreement, they have stated कि now from onward, today onwards, we are making an agreement. So none of the states are allowed to take part or free from the or secede from the union and make their another union. So you cannot break away from the union. So undestructible union, it means the union cannot be destructed, the union cannot be break, the union cannot be divided. So the states are not allowed to broke or secede from the union, and in future they should make their own union. No, this has not been allowed. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Clear? But and it also says that states are also not subject to broke. It also says that state will not break from the union, and the union will not break the states into two or more than states. So union has same power that union will not broke the state also, and the state will not broke away from the union. It means through this arrangement, through the constitutions, the territorial integrity of the states of the United States is guaranteed by the constitutions. Territorial integrity, it means the state, whatever with your territory you have been coming into the constitutions in the agreement, you will be having a guarantee of that territory, that you will be live with that territory. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Right? So in this question has also been asked that which of the following countries or the constitution has a functions of or a character of indestructible union with indestructible states. So it is a characteristic of USA. But when we talk about the India, so it is an sorry. So how the Union of States of India is indestructible union. It means the states are not allowed to secede from the union. They cannot break away from the union. Khalistan, Nagaland, they cannot break away from the union. But the states can be break away by the union into two or more than parts. Article 3 of the constitutions. Reorganization of states. So the states are not guaranteed, Indian states are not guaranteed their territorial integrity by the constitution. So constitution does not guarantee about their territorial integrity. So you are coming with your territory, it is not guaranteed that we will keep your territory. It is up to the union that it can be increased, decreased, it can be divided, or it can be merged. So territorial integrity of the states in the union in India has not been guaranteed by the constitutions, whereas territorial integrity of the states in the United States is guaranteed by the constitutions. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Any doubt?
Region comes from UT, so they don't have election process. Election.
कहाँ? किस UT? There are 3 UTs where they have an assembly. नहीं है ही नहीं, तो no elections. India is not independent. 100% is independent. So it is under which power is ruling us?
People from that particular region which are not regions from where people are not able to given opportunity to elect their representative.
They are electing representative for the Lok Sabha. You need to understand the two things: union of states and territory of states. If you are a state, you are free to everything. If you are a UTs or acquired territory, it is up to the constitution, parliament, union. The arrangement they want to make, they can make. A control they want, they can make. This does not mean that we are not fully independent. You can say that, sir, it means that we are not fully federal. Yes. By those we can say we are not fully federal. We are federations. That's why I said very earlier, and in the last class also we have seen, India federation with a strong or center bias. We are a federation with a strong center. Center has a more power. Our center is strong. This also we have seen when we have seen the provisions taken from the other constitutions in Canada. There we have seen the provisions of strong center is taken from the Canada. So if the UTs, they came to in the Union of India, but they are not been given such treatment as a state. So yes, we are not truly federal. Even the states who are in the India are not sovereign. They have a control of the union. They have a control of the state. Sorry, center. Appointment of governor, civil servant, IS, single integrated judicial system, single integrated election system. There is only one election commission of India. There are certain provisions which allows the parliament to make laws with respect to the state list. This all we will see when we will do the center-state relations. Now is it clear? Ma'am, your question is clear? कोई बात नहीं. It is clear now? Or you have doubt? Clear now? So this is Article 1. Now Union of States and Territory of India is clear. Now it is also clear that comparison between the American and Indian Union of States. Clear? Next, moving to that's territory. All territory, yes. Everything come under this. Next is admission or establishment of new states. So Article 2 talks about two things. One, about the admission of what? Of new state. And one talks about establishment of new state. Right? Parliament may by law. So it is an up to the parliament. It is not what? It is not compulsory on the parliament. So who this constitution empower which authority to admit or establish a new state? Parliament. And that is through the law. So parliament through the law admit into the union or establish new states on such terms and condition as it thinks fit. Right? So now we'll understand what does it means. So here we have seen admission of the states and establishment of the state. So it is a parliament. Now parliament has a power to decide the conditions, to decide the terms, rules, regulations while establishing or administrating any states into the union. Yes or no? Right? Now when we talk about admission of new states, so this is about that which is already a part of the territory of India. It means admissions of a new state, it means it is allowing the parliament to include into the federal structure, union of states. Yes or no? Like Jammu Kashmir demanding statehood. Delhi is demanding statehood. They are demanding, na? So if they want, if the parliament want, that is not compulsory on the parliament to provide them the statehood. So if parliament want to provide them a statehood, so through which article allows them to do? Article 2 allows them to admission of a new states into the union. Into the union. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Admission of new state, it means an admission of new state into where? Into union. Union means where? Which? What union we are talking about? We are talking, sorry. We are talking about the union of states. When we are talking about the union, we are talking about a union of states. So admission of a new state in the union. So which state we are talking about? So it is said that is already a part of territory of India. So who are the part of territory of India other than the state? UTs and acquired territory. Yes or no? So if the parliament want to provide the any UTs or acquired territories to give them an what? Statehood. Include into the federal structure. Include into the union of state. So that they can do by using an article 2 of the constitutions. Is it clear, ma'am? Any doubt? Like I have given you the example also, UTs of Delhi or UTs of Jammu Kashmir, they are demanding for the statehood, right? So even any acquired territories can, like Goa, acquired territories directly administered into the state, union of state, established admission as an state. Yes? Clear? Now when we talk about establishment of new state, so this is about which is not part of territory of India. Example for this is Sikkim. Sikkim is a state. Yes, directly mentioned into the state, and when it was made, it was not part of India. So in 1947, when the Britishers left India, they also left the Sikkim. So during that period, from when the Britishers left the Sikkim, So there is two division in the Sikkim, right? One, the king is from Bogyal, you can say that dynasty, and the people of Sikkim. People of Sikkim were fully participated in the Indian freedom struggle, and on the line of the Indian National Congress, they have established a Sikkim National Congress. So they have been participant of the Indian National Congress. They have participated in Indian National Freedom Movement. So they decided that on the line of the National Congress, Indian National INC, we should also have an SNC, Sikkim National Congress. When the Britishers left Sikkim, 1947, they decided that India should, or Sikkim should be merged into the India. But this Bogyal king is against. It wants to rule its own dynasty into the Sikkim. Yes. So this Sikkim National Congress has passed a resolutions and asked the central government, Indian government, to merge the Sikkim into the India. Right. So what the Indian government do? So from in 1947 they give a protector state, protectorate, protector status of protector state. So it becomes, Sikkim becomes an protected state of India. What does it mean? It means the same. It is a similar arrangement made by the India with the Sikkim as it was an arrangement made by the Britishers with the Indian states. Paramountcy arrangement. So arrangement was like, Indian said you rule your own nations. India will have your foreign affairs, charge of foreign affairs, communications, right, and defense. So it will have in charge of foreign affairs, communications, and defense. Rest, Sikkim, let the Sikkim should govern by their king. And it has placed one of its representative at the Sikkim court or assembly. Getting my point? The same person who is placed at the Sikkim assembly as a representative of India is also been entrusted with a responsibility of a Bhutan, because Sikkim and Bhutan is at the border. Have you seen the Sikkim map? Yes or no? It is one side covered by Nepal, one side Bhutan and Tibet at the north. Have you seen the map now? So this is the arrangement made by the Indian government with the Sikkim 1947. This arrangement continued till 1974 or 1975. When the Sikkim National Congress again passed a resolutions, right? They again passed another resolutions and forced the king to sign this resolutions. And when the king signed this resolution, all the power were transferred into the Sikkim National Congress, means assembly. So Sikkim National Congress here means assembly. So all the power went to the assembly. And after this arrangements of this resolutions, this Bogyal king becomes a T12 head. Means nominal head without any power. So real power now came into the Parliament of Sikkim. So now real power become Legislature of Sikkim or Sikkim Assembly. Yes or no? Clear? And through these resolutions, they have asked the Indian government to include the Sikkim into the political vicinity of India in a democratic process of India. So with giving respect to these resolutions, Indian government passed 35th Constitutional Amendment Act, and by this act there was two changes made into the constitutions. First, a new article added, 2A. Second, new part was added, new schedule added, that is 10th schedule. So this was the arrangement made by the Indian government, and from the protector state status of the Sikkim, it went to the associate state. So now a new status given by the Parliament of India to the Sikkim is associate state. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? कोई confusion है तो अभी रखिए अपने पास. When I will say now it's finished, now you can ask, then you can ask. Clear? Right? Now this is the two changes. Now they have, from the earlier they have given the protector state, now it is an associated state, right? Now it also says that the two representative, now what are the benefits they would be given? So it says that the two representatives of Sikkim will be in the Indian Parliament. But these two representatives have no right to vote in president elections. They are a part of the parliament, but they are not eligible to vote in the president elections. Right? Then they have citizens of the Sikkim were given that you can come in India, you can study, you can acquire job also in India. These are the peculiar benefit given to the Sikkim populations. Right? As soon as this Indian government has done this, there is two events were going on. The first, that the king, Chogyal king of a Sikkim, he making an arrangement with the international leaders to gain his power back into the Sikkim. So he's consulting with all, please come help me to gain Sikkim back. All this is doing. First. Second, this was challenged in a court. Why? Because of the status of associate state. It was challenged Supreme Court. It was said that the Constitution does not provide any such arrangements of associate state. This is unconstitutional. So on this basis it was challenged. So the court, Supreme Court, called this 35th Constitutional Amendment Act as an unconstitutional. Clear? Now this is one of the arrangements is going on the other hand, where the king is trying to get support from the international leader that they can help the king to gain the Sikkim back. So again the Sikkim Assembly passed another resolutions, and on the basis of that resolutions, Indian government passed 36th Constitutional Amendment Act. It may be a 1975. You can check. Okay? And this Through this act, Sikkim was merged into India as a state. Sikkim became an state, and it also abolished 2A and 10th schedule of the constitutions, which was provided an status of associate state. This is how Sikkim becomes an part of state through the Article 2. Establishment of an state which is not part of the Indian territory. Protected, we are giving you the protections. बस आप संरक्षण होता है ना, you come into my edges, I will give you the protections. आपको काम करते रहो अपना, I will give you the protections. Associate state means not fully state, but more than protections. You will be given your representative in us, send your representative, allow something else. And state is a state, union of state. Anything else? So this is Article 2. Yes or no? This is just a story to let you understand Article 2. What we mean by the administration of states and establishment of states. Any doubt? Sorry? Abolished. ये जो दो यहां बनाए थे ना, इसको abolish कर दिया इससे. Now you will not find the two of this in the constitutions. Is it clear? Sorry? बताया तो था, शेड्यूल हमने किया नहीं. 1985 में कब नहीं शेड्यूल जब मैंने किया था, मैं आपको I have given you the date and any doubt? Clear? Now we'll see the third. हाँ जी बोलिए. What have to do? तो वो आकर कहे मैम इंडिया हैज एन पावर टू एक्वायर टेरिटरी. एक्वायर टेरिटरी कैसे कर सकते हैं? खरीद सकते हैं, कोई गिफ्ट में दे दे हम ले सकते हैं, किसी के साथ वॉर कर ले हम वहाँ टेरिटरी ले सकते हैं, मर्ज कर सकते हैं, तो वो तो कर सकते हैं. कौन हु वांट्स टू मर्ज विथ इंडिया? अमेरिका? अफगानिस्तान? वो कैसे मर्ज करेगा? फॉर दैट पाकिस्तान हैज टू मर्ज द फर्स्ट बाय एयर रूट. नहीं, they can be, see that merger is done through the acquisition and India has an power to acquire territory. So it can acquire any territory. Yes or no? ठीक है. Now next is Article 3. So Article 3 talks about formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or name of existing state. So how it can be done? So it forms a new state. It is different from that of the Article 2, where it talking about the admission and establishment. Article 3 talking about the formation of state by separation of territory from any state or uniting two or more states or part. So how a new state will be formed? By separating a state like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Bihar, Jharkhand, MP, Chhattisgarh, UP, Uttarakhand. Madras was transferred to Tamil Nadu from Andhra Pradesh. Gujarat, Bombay taken from Gujarat, given to Maharashtra. Yes or no? So this is how this can be done. So this has been done by the Parliament. of states by uniting any territory or part of any state. So it can increase the area of any state, it can diminish the area of any state, it can alter the boundaries of any state, or it can alter also the name of the any state. So name can of the state is not changed by the state. It is been done by the parliament. So parliament has the power, and this shows that how parliament have a control over the territory of state, right? But it has certain conditions. So what is the conditions? So first says that the bill related to Article 3, formation of state, can be introduced in either house of parliament. Maybe in the Lok Sabha or in the Raj Sabha. This bill can only introduce in parliament after prior permission of president. So to introduce any bill which is affecting that boundaries, area, name, altering the boundaries, merging the state or anything, that bill requires a previous permission of president before introductions. Are you getting my point? So president should have knowledge about that legislature is going to do something like this. So he should have beforehand knowledge, and he should give before permissions. Next, that before assenting the bill related to the formation of state, the president sent the bill to the affected state. So after the parliament passes that bill, it will be given to the president for his assent. So what president will do before giving his assent, he will send the bill back to the state. Not back, he will send the bill to the state. Which state? Which is going to affect it for its opinion, right? So the opinion given by the state is binding on the government? No. Opinion of the concerned state is not binding on the government. Binding on government. Excuse me. What does it mean? It means whether they agree or not, their boundaries or their areas will be diminished. Just to inform them, it is a duty. Is it clear? This is Article 3. Any doubt? Ji. हाँ तो सामने आपके नाम बदलने का पावर सिर्फ पार्लियामेंट के पास है. बाइंडिंग, नॉट बाइंडिंग ऑन द गवर्नमेंट. आ रहा हूं. हाँ बोलिए क्या, व्हाट डू यू वांट टू आस्क कि क्यों बदला नाम, कैसे बदला? थ्रू द पासिंग अ बिल, सिंपल मेजोरिटी, थ्रू सिंपल मेजोरिटी. What is your question? No. State government can change the name of its district, but it cannot change the state name. That can only be changed by the parliament.
They need to concern about the ask about the state individual or what?
For related to what?
Change the
Only president will let them inform. after the parliament has done all this. Just to inform, their opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when there is not binding on the government. They said, no, you cannot do that to us. No. And this is the reason why I told you that the Indian state does not have a guarantee of territorial integrity given by the constitutions. This is what I meant when I said this. Constitution does not guarantee the territorial integrity. It is given a parliament the power, and this is one of the way how the parliament control the state. Is it clear? Yes, sir.
Union can separate state, right? Union government can separate any state.
हाँ आगे हाँ हाँ.
तो सर कोई बेनिफिट है?
It's बड़े हैं, अगर स्टेट बड़ा है तो फॉर द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पर्पस दैट कैन बी डन. डिमांड के ऊपर ज्यादा होता है. हाउ इट इज अ डिमांड? इट्स अ पॉलिटिकल डिमांड. It was started with the 1956 7th Constitutional Amendment Act, reorganization of state. That's it. Anything else? No? पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में
नहीं जो हमारा उड़ीसा से उड़ीसा होगा, प्रेसिडेंट को कैसे पता चलेगा कि हम लोग उड़ीसा चाहते हैं या उड़ीसा?
प्रेसिडेंट कहीं बाहर तो नहीं रह रहा हो ना. पॉलिटिकली डिमांड तो होगा ना. पॉलिटिकल डिमांड तो होगा ना. वो गवर्नमेंट यहां भी काम कर रही होगी तो उनको होगा कि यहां पर क्या लोग चाहते हैं. तो बस कैसे डिमांड है तभी तो कर रही है. डिमांड नहीं फिर भी कर सकती है वो. इट इज अप टू द स्टेट. ये देखिए जम्मू कश्मीर को कर दिया 2 यूटीज में, दोनों रो रहे हैं, फिर भी कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. स्टेट कर दे, फर्क पड़ता है. दिस इज एन दैट्स व्हाई यू कैन नॉट मूव टू द जुडिशरी. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड वन लाइन. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज नॉट गारंटिंग योर टेरिटोरियल इंटीग्रिटी. आपके जो स्टेट की टेरिटरी है वो एज इट इज होगी, इसकी गारंटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं देता है. वो बढ़ भी सकता है, घट भी सकता है. ये पार्लियामेंट के ऊपर है. आर यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? यस और नो? तो क्या इफेक्ट होगा? रोएंगे, बाद में गाएंगे, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट थिंग. पार्लियामेंट इज नॉट गोइंग टू लिसन अबाउट ऑल दिस थिंग्स, and they cannot move to the court also because the parliament has the power. This is given just to control the states. This is one of the example again how we have a strong center. Clear? क्या बात कर रहे बताइए? Include me also. The next is Article 4 of the Constitutions. So Article 4 of the Constitution says 2 things. First, whatever changes were made by the Article 2 or Article 3, whatever changes were made by the Article 2 or Article 3 in the Constitution does not amount to amendments of the constitutions under Article 368, which means it is to be done by the simple majority. This is one of the things. So जो भी changes Article 2 या Article 3 के through the Parliament is doing, whether including any state, establishing any states, administering any state, forming a new state, whatever it is doing by using this 2 article, that will not be seen as an amendment to the constitutions. That is to be done with the simple majority. First thing. Second thing, what it's saying, that whatever changes were done by the 2 or Article 3, it requires to be amend the 1st and 4th schedule of the constitutions. Are you getting my point? What is first schedule of the constitution? It talks about the name of the territory of India. So if you are creating any new state, so their name, their territory boundaries, what is the boundaries, capital, populations, all has to be mentioned in the constitution, yes or no? For that it requires that you need to amend the first constitution, first scheduled also. Are you getting my point? Whatever you are doing by the 2 or 3, it requires that first or fourth should be amended. First talks about the name and territory of India. Like you have bifurcate 2 states or merge 1 state. That has to be mentioned in the first. It means you are diminishing its territory. You are changing the name of any state, that has to be mentioned in the first. Is it clear? Also the fourth. Now what fourth talks about? It is about a state representation in Rajya Sabha. So if you are changing any nature of the states, it will affect its representation in the Rajya Sabha, yes or no? That has also to be amended. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Is it clear? Now your question has been answered, sir. So this is Article 4 of the Constitutions and Part 1 of the Constitutions. Any doubt? Clear? G. Fourth, see, it says that whatever Parliament do, make changes, like you are creating a new state, establishing a new state, or forming a new state, right? So that requires an representations of that people of the states into the Council of States. And fourth article, schedule 4, is about the which state have what representations number. That has to be done. Yes? Clear? So this is Part 1 of the Constitutions. Any doubt? State permission state की कोई, हाँ, जब आप वो कर चुके हैं तब, पहले नहीं ना. जब आपने कर दिया, then you have to make changes with it. Simultaneously change will be there. Clear? So this is Part 1 of the Constitutions. Now we will move to the Part 2 of the Constitutions. So Part 2 talks about citizenships, which deal with the Article 5 to 11. So what is citizenship? What is citizenship? Why we required a citizenship? 2 questions. And third, basis of citizenship. You need to answer these 3 questions. So what is citizenship? आप लोग बोलते हैं, मेरी आवाज तक, कानों तक आवाज है, कुछ आया आवाज, but it is an identity of what? Of president of a country. नहीं, it is not an identity. हाँ बोलिए बोलिए, आई एम लिसनिंग. हाँ बोलिए. अच्छा, सॉरी, saying something.
Individual identity of a particular country.
No. What is, first of all, what is citizenship? You are citizen of India, yes or no? Yes or no? Then what is it? Those who are residing in India are citizen of. Suppose tomorrow you go to foreign and you reside there, so you become citizen of that? No. Try to answer. Try to think. So what is citizen? Born in India. Then what is citizenship? Citizenship is a relation between state and individual. Oh ho ho. Now why it is necessary to have a relation or to establish a citizenship? So it is an responsibility of the state to provide or to fulfill the basic necessities of the individuals. So that how we will provide? It will provide on the basis of recognizing the citizenship, that this is our citizen, we are liable to provide that duties. So it is an relationship. Why? To provide basic necessities. Anything can be food, clothes, education, anything. Is it clear? Yes or no? So what are the basis to grant citizenship? वो नहीं, on the basis of birth, on the basis of descent, no. So there are two ways on which citizenships are granted. The first is jus soli. Jus soli. Second is jus sanguinis. Sorry? Jus soli. लिखा तो JUSSOLI, जस्ट सोली. जस्ट sanguinis, 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 जस्ट सोली. टर्म देकर आप लोग इतना क्यों बेचैन हो रहे हैं? जस्ट राइट डाउन, आई विल लेट यू एक्सप्लेन. Did I say that I am not going to explain? तो फिर why are you so? Yes, your curiosity will be addressed. So these are the two ways on the basis of which worldwide a citizenship is provided. Just solely. Now listen, this term solely is something sounding like a soil. Yes or no? It means citizenship granted on the basis of birth. नहीं? Yes, on the basis of birth. Sanguinis, it means the citizenship granted on the basis of blood, clan, blood. बेसिस ऑफ ब्लड मतलब एक ही क्लैन के लोगों को सिटीजनशिप मिलेगा, एक ही ब्लड के लोगों को सिटीजनशिप मिलेगा. लाइक इजराइल, ओनली a Jews can get an citizenship of Israel. So blood of the Jews is considered as a giving. Germany, when the Hitler was there, massacre of Jews on the basis of blood. Race, on the blood means on the basis of race. ठीक है? These are the two ways to provide an whether worldwide they are providing a citizenship. India follows this just solely. This question has also been asked once. India follows the just solely policy, that is based on the birth, irrespective of which clan, irrespective of which race anyone is. If you have a link or a bond in India, in the soil of India, you are eligible to have a citizenship of India. मैंने क्या बोला? What did I say? कि you are eligible to with other conditions. After? हाँ, we are talking about that. Till it is clear? कैसे? ब्लड कैसे मिक्स हो सकता है? आपने क्रांति देखी है क्या? ये मेरा खून, ये तेरा खून, बता कौन सा किसका खून? नहीं, सवाल सही नहीं है.
Jews marriage by Christian.
So now depends upon ki male marriage or female marriage.
Female हो गए तो bad.
So they have the policies, if they have that policies. But that is based on the blood only, na. If they say now, if you marry to another community or another clan or another race, you are not been eligible. Your child will not be eligible to gain an citizenship of the nation. That is also depend upon the blood. Mix हो गया था, blood खत्म, mixed blood is not allowed, mixture is not allowed. तो ये ऐसा कैसा questions, मतलब how you come up with all these questions? ऐसा कैसा curiosity? You need to just understand on the basis of blood, and in a modern world, it is least accepted types of provisions to provide a citizenship. Only very few, like in Israel. Rest of the world they provide on the other mechanism they have. Earlier it was on the basis of race. The Europeans usually do this on the basis of race. They think of themselves superior race. जैसे आपको मैं बताऊं, slavery was prevalent in America. So American, now they have provisions to provide citizenship on the many other bases. Earlier, only the white races are allowed to have a citizenship of America. That is on the basis of blood. Blood means race. मार्शल रेस पढ़ा है आपने? हिस्ट्री में पढ़ने को मिलेगा. मार्शल, सुपीरियर रेस. मार्शल मीन्स सुपीरियर रेस. They call themselves martial race, superiors. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
और कोई क्वेश्चन ऐसा कि जिसका मिक्स हो गया फिर वो बाद में फिर वापस मिक्स कर ले उसके साथ? It totally, now ये जो डिटेल्ड है that will be answered only by the Israeli government. But I know that on the basis of blood, if they are providing, so they have to be from that clan or race. Is it clear? ठीक है. Now one more thing we need to understand related to citizenship. So we understand what is citizenship, we understand why it is necessary, and also we understand on the basis of. Now we will understand with respect to the citizenship, the population of a nation. So population of any countries are divided into two parts. One, citizen. Second, alien. अब ये भी देखकर क्यूरियोसिटी मत आएगा, वो जादू की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं. Neither I am talking about those avatars. Alien, those who are not citizen of a nation living in any country, they are known as an alien. नहीं तो आप समझ फिर वो planet से कब आए, other planet. So there is a difference. Understand here, there is a difference between these two. Citizens are recognized, which have a relations with them. State. Aliens are working, are studying in any land, but they have no relations with them, right? Now this alien is also bifurcated into two. One, friendly alien. One, enemy alien. So who will known as a friendly alien? जो आपके साथ घूमे, साइकिल पे गाना गाए, जादू, right? That is friendly alien? No. Friendly alien are those with which the nations, which countries, the country have a good relations. So national citizens of a nations with whom a country has a good relations. So citizens of a nations having good relations. Or enemy alien are those at which the state is at war. Sorry? You do not understand. Which part you do not understand? Citizen or alien? Alien का मतलब आप वहां से बाहर है. Alien are those who are not an Indian citizens but they are living in India. Foreign, जैसे इंडिया से लोग बाहर जाते हैं काम करने, so they are an alien to them nations because they are not citizen but they are there for job, purpose of job, business, study, tourist or any kind of. So how they are the populations of that country, resident of that country, right? But they are not citizens, so they will be aliens. Now that alien again have a two different. Friendly alien, it means the citizens of that nations with which the nation has a good relations, cordial relations. Enemy alien are those with which the nation is at war. जैसे यूक्रेन का सिटीजन रशिया चला जाएगा तो इट बिकम्स एन एनिमी एलियन इनटू द रशिया. इंडियन सिटीजन अगर रशिया चले जाएगा तो नोन एज अ फ्रेंडली एलियन. दोनों एलियन है बिकॉज दे आर हैविंग एन, दे आर नॉट सिटीजन टू द रशिया. नहीं, अभी भी नहीं समझे पर क्यों होता है ऐसा? यूक्रेन, रशिया और यूक्रेन में वॉर है, ये कौन डिफाइन कर रहा है? रशिया ही कर रहा है ना, तो वही करेगा. क्या इंडिविजुअल? तो वो कैसे? जब वो वॉर के साथ है तो क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं? स्पाई भी हो सकता है वो. ओके, आप इतना क्यों सोचते हैं? नहीं, आप अगर इंडिया से हो और पाकिस्तान में काम कर रहे हो और वॉर हो गई तो आपको ये आ गया कि नाउ कम बैक टू इंडिया, but you stayed, still you have decided now you will stay in India, in Pakistan, and you are helping Pakistan, तो you also become an enemy alien. समझ में आया? Any national who is helping the another country at the time of war by passing an information or anything becomes an enemy alien. India does not have a policy of dual citizenship.
But sir,
But no but.
म्यांमार और अरुणाचल को बॉर्डर एरिया है, वहाँ पे तो होता है.
अरुणाचल का सिटीजनशिप है किसी के पास? इंडिया का पार्ट सिटीजनशिप है. इंडिया डज नॉट. मैंने आपसे कहा देयर इज अ सिंगल सिटीजनशिप. जब हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे, आई टोल्ड यू द सैलिएंट फीचर दैट वी हैव एन सिंगल सिटीजनशिप पॉलिसी, नो डुअल सिटीजनशिप पॉलिसी. अगर कोई अगर ले भी लेता है बाहर तो विल कम टू सी अंडर दिस. अब जितने सिटीजनशिप टाइप के आपके पास क्यूरियोसिटी है ना, उसको आप एक पेपर में लिख लो. व्हेन आई से नाउ सिटीजनशिप इज फिनिश्ड, एनी क्वेश्चंस, देन गो टू द पेपर एंड आज सी इफ योर क्वेश्चन इज सॉल्व और नॉट. क्या होगा, बीच में आप क्वेश्चन पूछते रहें तो विल इधर उधर भटकेंगे हम फिर. सो डोंट वांट टू बिकम एन एलियन. नहीं. सो नाउ आपको क्वेश्चंस ये पूछना था कि सर व्हाट इज अ बेनिफिट ऑफ बाइफर्केटिंग इनटू सिटीजन एंड एलियन. वहां तक तो आप क्वेश्चन पूछे ही नहीं. व्हाई वी आर डूइंग दिस? व्हाई वी आर population has been divided into two? So the citizens have an extra privileges over the aliens. So they are like how? So all the public offices only for citizens. Supreme Court of India judge, High Court judge, any judge, MP, MLA, Prime Minister, Chief Minister, Speaker, Attorney General, Advocate General, CAG, President, Governor, it is only for the citizens, not to the aliens. Are you getting my point? There are certain fundamental rights like Article 15, 16, 19, 29, 30, only for the citizens of India, not for the everybody. Getting my point? Yes or no? Now there is also certain benefit is given when we bifurcate this. Now when we come to the alien, so when we have a divisions of friendly alien, enemy alien, so enemy alien is not been given any rights which is available to the friendly aliens. So other than these fundamental rights, there are other rights which is applicable to alien also, to the all populations, all those who are living in India, yes or no, right? Like Article 20, 22, protections in convictions and protections in arrest or detentions. This is also given to the friendly alien and citizens. But when we come to the enemy alien, these two articles is not provided even to the 20 and 22 other than the other articles. So enemy alien are not eligible for any of the rights, not even the 20 and 21. और वो क्या है, that we will discuss when we do the fundamental rights. This is the distinction between the citizens, friendly and enemy alien. Is it clear? So we have come to know, also we have come to see the what is citizenship, why it is required, basis of what. Clear? Now we'll move to the constitutional provisions of citizenship. So Constitution of India does not provide anyone any citizenship. Then what is this? It just state the status of citizenship only at the commencement of constitutions. So Constitution of India only talking about that who are citizen at the 26 January 1950. How you can acquire or who will be a citizen of India after 1950, the Constitution has nothing to say about all this. Are you getting my point? So all the provisions of the constitutions under part 2 of the Constitution, that is of citizenship, from Article 5 to 11, it says it only talks about that who are citizen at the commencement of constitutions. It has nothing to do about how you can acquire citizenship or how your citizenship is lost or how any person's, what is the status of any persons after the commencement of constitutions. This all power is been left to the parliament through Article 11. Am I clear, yes or no? Is it clear? ठीक है, तो now let's move to the constitutional provisions. So as I said, either of the articles 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of the Constitution does not talk about provision providing and citizenship to the individuals. Neither it is talking about status of citizenship after the commencement. It is only talking at the commencement of Constitution. And when the Constitution was commenced? 26 January 1950. So it is only talking about at the point of time that who are and who were citizens. Clear? Okay? So Article 5th of the Constitutions, it talks about citizenship at the commencement of the constitutions. So it has given two provisions, that who are a citizen of, who will be considered as a citizen of India at the commencement of constitutions. Out of the two provisions, conditions, one is compulsory, mandatory, the other is optional. Are you getting my point? Article 5 talks about that who become or who are citizen at the commencement of constitutions, given two conditions. Out of the two, one is compulsory, mandatory, one is optional. You have to be both, but one is compulsory. It means it has to be, then only the second is applicable. If the first is not applicable, the second will not be applicable. Am I clear? Yes or no? So it says the domicile in the territory of India is a mandatory provisions. So the person who is domiciled means who is residing in the territory of India plus and this and means this is compulsory, and either of the one, not all three but any of the one, and born in territory of India, the person residing in territory of India and born in territory of India considered citizen at the commencement of constitutions, irrespective of its parents' nationality. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? To whatever national parents the person is born, he has to be born in India and he is residing in India, granted citizenship at the commencement of constitutions, irrespective of the parents' nationality or parents' residence. So currently their parent is residing in India or not, that has nothing to do with. Their parents is an Indian citizen also, that has also not to do with anything. If the person is residing in India and born in India, considered as a citizen of India at the commencement of constitutions. Or it means if suppose the person is not born in India but residing in India, then next, parents was born in territory of India. So residing in India and parents born in India. It means the person's parents were born in India. Again, it does not consider irrespective of two things. One, person's birth, whether the person born in India or not, it does not matter. Plus parents' residence. Whether parents residing at that time of in India or not, it has also not matter. If a person is residing in India and his or her parents were born in India, so will be considered as a citizen at the commencement of India. Am I clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Clear? Or if suppose this is also not condition is applicable, or third, domiciled in territory of India and resident in territory of India. So suppose he is not born, suppose his parents were also not born, but he has a domicile in India, and India means Government of India Act 1935 territory I am talking about. Through the act, that is one decided. So if he is not born, his parents were also not born, but he is domiciled and he has a resident in India, resident just before the 5 years before commencement of constitutions. So he is residing in India just before 5 years before commencement of constitutions, the persons will be considered as a citizen of India. This is Article 5 is about. Am I clear? Yes? Clear? Want to ask something? Chaliye. So this is Article 5 is about. So as I said, the Article 5 to 11 does not talk about how you can acquire citizenship or how your citizenship is lost or what is the status of citizenship after 1950. It is only talking at the commencement of constitutions. The 5th is clear. Next, 6. Article 6 of the constitutions. So Article 6 of the constitution is talking about what? It is talking about the persons who has migrated to India from Pakistan. Because 1947 was a partitions. So after partitions, may someone has gone to the Pakistan, now they want to come back to India. So what about those who has migrated to India from Pakistan? That is dealt by the Article 6. Am I clear? So Article 6 says rights of citizenship of certain persons who have migrated to India from Pakistan. So if any person who has migrated to India from Pakistan, so what are the condition of citizenship is dealt under Article 6. So it's 6. Now it says he or either of his parents or any of his grandparent was born in India. So that condition is to be that either he himself or either of his parents or his grandparents were born in India. Which India? Government of India Act 1935, our India. और दूसरी इंडिया कौन सी है? Do we have the second India also? Ma'am is saying our India. India means the government of India Act 1935 में जो mentions है. Clear? So any person who is born in India, either of his parents is born in India or grandparents born in India, and he migrated to Pakistan. Now he want to come back to India after partitions. So there is a date. A date is been given. So it says that 19th July 1948. So if such person who migrate from Pakistan to India is before this date, before this date of 19 July 1948, so the person will be considered as an citizen automatically. So if person migrated to India before this date, before 19 July 1948, why this date has been done, kept as a cutoff? Why 1948? 19 July 1948 has been kept as a cutoff date. इस दिन सनी देओल ने वो गदर बनाई उसी टाइम पे. ओके, सो वो हैंड पंप निकालने की वजह से. So why the 1948, 19 July? This is a date when India has come up with the registration date for the coming persons. So this cutoff was made. So Article 6 given two conditions. The first is compulsory, that only those either they born in India, either their parents born in India or their grandparents born in India. So now they want to migrate to India. So if the person came before 19 July 1948, so the person will be considered as an Indian citizen at the commencement of constitutions automatically. Take, but if the persons migrate to India on or after 19 July 1948, then they have to register themselves with the authority for which the Indian government has appointed. So for if anyone comes on this date or before after this date, so they have to register themselves. This is Article 6 of the Constitutions. Is it clear? जी.
पेरेंट्स और ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स इंडियन होगा, वो इंडियन
Born in India. Born in India. Those who are born in the territory of India. हाँ.
उन लोगों को इस डेट के बेसिस पे
सबको नहीं, सबको नहीं. It's want to say कि anyone who wants to, what will be the status of the person who migrated to India from Pakistan. So Article 6 says that if a person who migrated to India, so it says it will be considered the person either he himself is born in India, territory of India, or his parents were born in territory of India, or his grandparents born in territory of any lineage. Suppose grandparents born in territory of India, but he is not himself born in territory of India, but he want to come back to India. So if he enter India before 19 July 48, So he will be considered citizen of India automatically. But if he come to India on the date of 19 July, on the same date, or after that date, so he will be considered, first he has to registered, then he can be granted. Then he can be granted as a citizenship. He or she. एक है he or she. मैंने आपसे क्या कहा? Any type of questions if you have, just keep with you. Just ask only the questions with the concerned articles. Plus we are dealing with what? We are dealing with the only such provisions. 3 बार बोला मैंने बात. That article 5 to 11 is only about the status of citizenship at the commencement of constitutions. Constitution does not say anything about how you can acquire, how your citizenship is lost. This is power given to parliament. तो हम जब वहां भी नहीं पहुंचे, अभी सिर्फ हम 1948 में, he and she both. ठीक है. ये किसने पूछा था दिस क्वेश्चन? आपने? अच्छा नहीं, ही इज जेंडर न्यूट्रल. Next is Article 7. Now Article 7 talks about those who migrated to Pakistan from India. अब कुछ लोग तो उधर भी जाएंगे ना, और उधर जाने के बाद उन्हें वहां पर फिर पता चला वापस आओ. So this is Article 7 is about. So Article 7 says rights of citizenship of certain migrants to Pakistan. ठीक है. तो what it says? It says in spite of anything under 5 or Article 6. Article 5 or Article 6 we have discussed. A person who has after the first date of 1947 March 19th. So it said कि if any person who migrated to Pakistan on the 1st March 1947 shall not be deemed to be a citizen of India. So any person who migrated to Pakistan when after the 1st March 1947 will not be considered as a citizen of India. But if they want to return back, they gone. Now they think मजा नहीं आ रहा है, let's go back. So if they want to migrate, so now the condition is that Article 6 के तहत में, what is Article 6 talks about? The two date is given before, on or after. So this will be applicable to the 6. 1947 से पहले चले गए, now want to come back. So if they come back before, so citizens. After or before or on the same registrations. Are you getting my point? First flows.
After 1st March of 1947. अगर on 1st March होगा?
After है तब, फिर on का तो बात ही नहीं है.
यहाँ पर clearly लिखा है ना, वो है after the 1st day of March.
As I say that if you are not been allowed in the class after 2 PM, तो 2 PM तो allow है ही.
यहाँ तो mention clearly हुआ है ना, on and after.
तो ये तो इंडिया में आने के लिए है, ये तो जाने के लिए है. So after this, if anyone is migrate, it means उस दिन भी किया तब तो नहीं, उसके बाद हुआ तब it will be not considered deemed to be citizens. But they want to come back, Article 6 will be applicable. Before, on and after. Is it clear, yes or no? ठीक है. This is Article 7 of the Constitutions. Article 8. Now this talks about About whom? About who are origin of Indian. आप पूछिए, कितने भी पूछ सकते हैं. 1948 मैंने आपको बताया उस दौरान ही वो डेट सारे फिक्स हो रहे थे, द पार्टीशन डेट एंड एवरीथिंग. So 8 is Article 8 talks about it is an rights of citizenship to whom? Descent, on the basis of descent. As we all know that the Britishers during the British era, they took majority of some of the populations of India to the Africa, Europe for the slavery या trade business करने के लिए कभी वहां जाके बस गए बाहर. But they are Indian at the time when they go. So this talks about citizens, rights of citizenship, certain person of Indian origin residing outside India. So they are in, like Sunita Williams is Indian origin residing outside. So this also Article 8 talks about such persons, that those who want, it means to those who want to become a citizen of India at the commencement of constitutions, which 5, 6 and 7 is not applicable, because 5 is applicable to the person who is residing in India, 6 to the migrated from the Pakistan, 7 is also related to Pakistan, but someone who is living in Africa, Europe, America, then what about them? That is given by the Article 8 of the Constitutions. So Article 8 of the Constitution says that anything mentioned in Article 5, though anything in Article 5, any person who or either of his parents or any of his grandparents was born in India as defined in Government of India Act 1935. So the first condition compulsory is this: the person, either he himself born in India, his parents born in India, or his grandparents born in India. Which India? My India, Government of India Act 1935. Clear? Government of India Act 1935. Or he means both, he and she. Who is ordinarily residing in any country outside India as so defined shall be deemed to be citizen of India if. Now how he can be considered as a citizen of India? If he registered with the consulate, Indian consulate, in the country in which he has been residing. Do you understand the meaning of consulate? There are two terms, High Commission and embassy. High Commission and embassy. So both are the same. Difference, is there any difference? Do you know what is embassy and high commissions? No. क्या है embassy? What is embassy? क्या इंडिया में हमारी एम्बेसी है? हमारी एम्बेसी? तो व्हाट इज एम्बेसी? आउटसाइड में इंडिया की एम्बेसी है. एम्बेसी है क्या? Yes, Indian officials having their representation in foreign to provide protections relationship with the foreign nations and also to give protection to the Indian or the national working in the area. This is embassy. High Commission is also same. It is only given a nomenclature in the Commonwealth nation. तो कॉमनवेल्थ नेशन में जहां इंडिया का अपना काउंसलेट होगा, दैट इज नोन एज एन हाई कमीशन. अदर देन द कॉमनवेल्थ नेशन, इट इज नोन एज एन एम्बेसी. आर्टिकल 8 टॉक्स अबाउट दैट इफ एनी पर्सन हु was born in India or either of his parents or grandparent, now he is residing outside and want to become a citizen of India, then he has to registered by diplomatic or consular representing of India in any country where he is for the time being residing, on application made by him thereof. Such diplomatic or consular representations whether before or after the commencement of constitutions, and in the same form as been provided by the government. Clear? So 5 talks about the person, how a person can, or definitions, or you can say that status of a person's residing, domicile in India, citizenship. 6 talks about person migrated to India from Pakistan. 7 talks about persons migrated to Pakistan from India, now want to return back. Then 8 talks about Indian origin residing outside India. So how a person can become commence citizenship at the commencement. So through registration at the consulate or embassy in that nations. Clear? Next is about 9th, and this 9 talks about, this is 9th is denial of dual citizenship. So 9 says a person voluntarily acquiring, voluntarily means by his self wish, if any person by his self wish acquiring any citizen of foreign state not to be citizen of India. And this article 9 is an indication that we do not follow a policy of dual citizenship. We have a single citizenship policy. So article 19 is only talking about that no person shall, and it is mandatory to be citizen of India by virtue of article 5 or deemed to be citizen of any India by virtue of 6 or 8. Right? If he has voluntarily acquired the citizenship of any foreign state. So if the person has acquired voluntarily any citizenship, foreign citizenships, so if 5th is also applicable, 6, 8, anything applicable, but he has an citizenship of foreign nations, then also he cannot be a citizen of India. Is it clear? Any doubt? This is article 9th of the constitutions. मिसिंग हो रहा है कैसे? हाँ, तो आर्टिकल 7 में तो है ही नहीं सिटीजनशिप, तो बोला कि कोई पाकिस्तान चला गया उसको सिटीजनशिप में, वो है ही नहीं सिटीजन. अगर उसको मिलेगा तो 6 के थ्रू मिलेगा, तो 6 तो है ना यहाँ पे. Article 7 says what? If anyone migrated after 1st March 1948, 47, he will not be citizen of India. If we want now again, तो आर्टिकल 6 का एप्लीकेबल होगा, रजिस्ट्रेशन करके आना होगा. तो आर्टिकल 6 तो मेंशन है इसमें. यस और नो? ठीक है? एनी डाउट? नाउ नेक्स्ट इज आर्टिकल 10 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस. So what is article 10 of the constitution says? It says continuation of rights of citizenship. So every person who is or is deemed to be citizen of India, so every person who is a citizen of India or who is going to be citizen of India under any of the foregoing provisions of this part, through any of this part, means 5, 6, 8, through any of these provisions, if he is a citizen, is going to be citizen of India, subject to the provisions of any law that may be made by Parliament, continue to be such citizens. So it means that he is liable to all the laws which is applicable by the or made by the Parliament. So just by virtue of a citizens, all applications of the law made by Parliament is applicable to that person. Am I clear? Yes or no? This is article 10 is about. Any doubt? Any question? नहीं? Good. Last article 11, which empowers the Parliament to regulate the rights of citizenship by law. So 5 to 8 is an article which providing citizenship, not providing, it is establishing who status of citizenship. 9 is about a denying a dual citizenship. 10 says by if any person has acquired citizenship through any law, all the law made by the parliament will be applicable to the citizenship. Yes. 11 empower the parliament to make law related to the how a person can acquire or regulate. So regulated the rights of citizenship by law. So nothing in the foregoing provisions of this part shall derogate from the power of Parliament to make any laws or any provisions with respect to acquisitions and termination of the citizenship and all other matter related to citizenship. So anything which is mentioned in 5 to 10 cannot restrict, is not restricting the power of a parliament while formulating a law related to how a person can acquire or how a citizenship can be terminated, or also regulated to regulating the citizenship right of an individuals. So parliament using power given by the article 11 has come up with an act known as Citizenship Act 1955. So 1955 Act made by the Parliament by using Article 11. 1955 Citizenship Act 1955 talks about two things: how a person can acquire citizenship of India. It provides an mechanisms, it provides an provisions that if anyone want to acquire citizenship, when after the commencement of constitutions, because till the commencement of constitutions the constitution talks about that who are citizens, but if after the commencement of constitutions anyone want to acquire citizenship, so how they can acquire, that is not been given under the constitutions. Plus how a citizenship, those who are citizen at the commencement of constitutions, is their citizenship can be terminated or not, is also been made by the Parliament. Is had nothing that about the termination of constitution, has also not said anything in the Constitution of India from 5 to 11. Yes or no? So by using a power under given 11, the Parliament has come up with the Constitution Citizenship Act 1955, which is defining or providing the provisions how any persons can acquire citizenship after the commencement, plus how the citizenship can be terminated even to those which has been acquired or which status of a citizenship has been given by the 5, 6 or any of the provisions. Is it clear? Right? So Citizenship Amendment Act provide two mechanisms. First, acquisition of citizenships and loss of citizenship. Okay? There are 5 ways through which a citizenship can be acquired. There are 5 ways. First, a citizen of India by birth. So any person who is born in India, either of his parents were born in India or grandparents were born in India at that time. So it says that any person at the time of his birth is a citizen. So when a person is born to an Indian citizen, but there is a conditions. Condition is that the person who is born and in India, having either of his parent in an Indian as a time of his birth, the next or the other parent should not be illegal migrant. Illegal migrant. So if a person born to an illegal migrant, right? So how a person can become a citizen of India at the time of birth? Either both of his parents were citizen of India at the time of his birth, or either of his parents were born, or either of his parents were citizen of India at the time of birth, right? But in the second condition it says the other parent, one is citizen of India, so the other parent should not be an illegal migrant. Now illegal migrant means how a migrant can become an illegal? 2. First, if he does not have a valid document, passport नहीं हो या फिर visa नहीं हो. So if the person does not having a valid document. Second, if the person is staying beyond the permission period. Visa, do you understand the visa? What is visa? What is visa is about? Visa is a kind of permissions, gate pass, in which it has been written that purpose of durations, also purpose of visit, duration of visit. So the person who visited in India or any other country considered as an legal migrant if he has been or she has been visiting the nations till the specific time period. So if he or she stay in the country beyond that the specific time period, will be considered as an illegal migrant. So the person considered as an citizen of India at the time of his birth, through birth, if either of his, both of his parents are born in India, like we all, right? Or either of his parents, but one should not be an illegal migrant. So this is how anyone can acquire citizenship. Is it clear, yes or no? Yes. Take next. A citizenship by descent. Descent means? Descendant, yes. So any person who wants to be a citizen of India, right, is not citizen of India. So how can be if either of his parent or either of his grandparent were born in India or a citizen of India? At the time of his birth, either of his parents were citizen of India. So he is not born in India, he is born outside. Take. So either of his parents were citizen at the time of his birth. So he can also be a citizen through descent if he is not born in India, if he is born anywhere else. Are you getting my point? Yes or no? Is it clear? Next, a citizen by registrations. So how this registrations? Now suppose, link this. If a person born in any nation, at the time of his birth, either of his parents is Indian citizens. But after his birth, he taken birth, both of his parents become a foreign national. They acquired a foreign national citizens, right? So it says that till the age of 18, till the age of 18, which is considered as a maturity, or till the age of 18, the individuals will be, because his both of parents has acquired the citizenship of another nation after his birth. At the time of his birth, one of his parent is citizen or both of his parent is citizens, irrespective of the place of his birth. So by descent he becomes. But by through this, if both has voluntarily give up their citizenship and acquire the citizenship of foreign nations, so after age of 18, if he want to acquire a citizenship, so he can register himself at the consulate or embassy or anywhere. Yes or no? ठीक है? Any person whose grandparents were born in India or they migrated to any nations 50 or 100 years back. Now the person want to be a citizen of India. So how they can be citizen of India? He has to register himself, plus he has to live in India for 12 years before registrations. Then he can be citizen of India. This is registrations. Irrespective of that, in registrations. Yes or no? Clear? Naturalizations. So this is a process how a foreigner can have citizenship of India. Foreigners that who does not have any link to India. Donald Trump. If Donald Trump want to become a citizen of India, so he has no link, so he cannot be citizenship through the birth, descent or registrations. So how he can be in citizenship? Through naturalizations. So naturalization process has been given for the whom? Foreigners, those who have no link with the Indian citizens. So through naturalization means they have been living, they have to register also, and they have to live for the 12 years also before registration in India. So now they can become citizen of India. Is it clear? Yes or no? Any question? What? Yes, before registration they have to be in India. ठीक है? How? Visa, continuous visa, passport. तो हाँ, अब कंटिन्यूसली वो वीजा एक्सटेंड भी करा सकते ना, एक्सटेंड द वीजा. लोग जो एनआरआई जो इंडिया से बाहर जाते हो, वो भी तो कंटिन्यूसली बाहर रह रहे हैं ना, रहते हैं या नहीं? सो क्लियर? एनी डाउट? The last is a citizen of India by incorporating of a territory. So if India acquired any territory, foreign territory, so by virtue of acquiring a territory, the populations of that territory will become automatically the citizen of India. So the government through notifications will provide that they have become citizen of India. Okay? So any territory has been acquired, so the nation's citizen of that territory becomes citizen of India. Clear? So these are the 5 ways how a citizenship has been provided. Anyone can acquire citizenship. Okay? Next is loss of citizenship. So there are 3 types how a citizenship can be lost. This loss of citizenship is equally applicable to everybody. Anyway, by any of the means of the acquisitions, acquired citizenships or citizenship at the commencement of constitutions. Clear? So there are 3: renunciations, terminations and deprivations. So what is renunciations? It is an voluntarily act. So any person who voluntarily acquire a different nation citizenship, so he has to renounce, he has to resign, he has to give up his Indian citizenships. Are you getting my point? So this is voluntarily. ठीक है? When a person acquire another nation citizenships, ठीक है? Another nation citizenships. This is renunciations. Terminations, when the person has acquired the citizenship of another nation but does not give up the Indian citizenship and the government come to know about that, so the government will terminate that citizenships. So this is done by the government. Am I clear? Yes or no? Any doubt? No. Last is deprivation. So deprivation is an punishment. So this is in place of punishment. This is also done by the government. So how a Indian citizenship can be deprived? When a person is acquired citizenship through fraud, if the government come to know that the person who has acquired citizenship has produced a false document, he has concluded in fraud while accepting, so he can be deprived. If he act against the country, disrespect the constitutions, right? So the citizen has been living outside of India for 7 years in a row. Citizen has obtained citizenship through fraud. The citizen has shows disloyalty to the constitution of India, then also its citizenship can be deprived. Citizen has unlawfully traded or communicated with the enemy during the war, enemy alien, as I said. Yes or no? The citizenship has been imprisoned in another country for more than years. This is cut. So for 7 years. So if he has been imprisoned for 2 or more than 2 years or 7 years, his citizenship will be deprived. Why? In the foreign nations. These are conditions. Clear? So this is a way how deprivation or loss of citizenship. The question has been once asked that from citizenship there is only one question asked in the history of UPSC. The question asked that the person who acquired citizenship through naturalizations, his citizenship cannot be lost. So this is incorrect. Any one citizenship can be lost, whether it is acquired through any mechanisms. Getting my point? Yes or no? Clear? जी, ये मैं बता दूंगा. इम्प्रिजनमेंट, जेल हो गया उसे किसी फॉरेन नेशन में, उसको हो जाएगा. तो दिस इज पार्ट 2 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस. नाउ व्हाट यू वांट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस? जी. फ्रॉड के मामले में हो तब ना, वहां पर आपने कंट्री के अगेंस्ट में फ्रॉड कर दिया उसके साथ. तब क्लियर? सॉरी, नहीं, दिस इज नॉट फॉर प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर. में दे कैन डू नॉट एनीथिंग, कैन बी नॉट डन एट द टाइम ऑफ वॉर. एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस? फॉरनर आया,
उसका बच्चा इंडिया में पैदा हुआ, बच्चा ग्रैंडफादर हो गया.
तो वो क्या है, अगर वो सिटीजनशिप इंडिया का ले लेगा तब तो वो आया, बच्चा यहाँ पैदा हो गया, चला गया और ग्रैंडफादर कहीं और हो गया, तो जब तक वो इंडियन सिटीजनशिप नहीं लेगा तब तक कैसे होगा? असाइलम, हाँ, asylum is also through which it is up to residing in India. There is no article for this. This is for how he can acquire. He has to register. He has to take asylum. If he is foreign, then foreigner, then he has through naturalizations. Article 9. Article 9 talks about if anyone has acquired voluntarily the citizenship of another nations and he has also the Indian citizenship. So, any example, like suppose at the times of commencement of constitutions, anyone having an Indian citizenship, he is now Indian citizenship, so he went to any foreign nation and he acquired the citizenship of the America also. So it means now he is having two. That is not allowed. So he has to renounce or his Indian citizenship will be lost. This is 9. Anything else? नहीं? ठीक है? So the questions जो आपने पूछने वाले थे, that is all clear? Good. Now we'll start the part 3 in the next class. Thank you.